G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we will learn how to make this really awesome hat. These love hearts are crocheted into the hat and I will show you how to do that. This pattern was designed by myhobbyiscrochet.com and this is a hat with love. This uses a crochet chart, so we will be learning how to do that. I have only followed a chart once before today, and that was to practice to make this hat. So we will be taking it slow and learning together. I love how the love hearts just go around this hat, and you've got that beautiful little edging as well. This hat won't have as much stretch as what we normally have with a crocheted hat because we are actually carrying the strands of yarn at the back of the hat. So you want to make this to the size that you need. This hat that I've done in the video will fit about a 5-year-old. It will probably fit a 4-year-old as well. The mannequin that it's on has a 50cm head, and that's about a 3 to a 5-year-old. You can make this hat pattern bigger just by adding more increased rounds to the crown of the hat. The yarn used in this project is from redheart.com. Redheart.com is a great place for inspiration for colours as well as your next project. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver, but I think this would be equally as beautiful with Red Heart with Love. So let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies, we're going to need a yarn needle with a large eye, a pair of scissors, a calculator. I've just got my phone. You're going to need a tape measure if you want to make it a different size. The instructions on this pattern will fit a 47cm circumference head, and that's about a 3 to a 5-year-old. But if you want to make it a different size, you will need a calculator and a tape measure. Going to need some yarn. In the pattern it suggests Caron Simply Soft, but I don't have any Caron Simply Soft, so I will be using Red Heart Super Saver. We have, and the Red Heart with Love would also work really great with this project. You can also use a double knit or an 8-ply yarn. This is a sports weight or a number 3, but you will need to work more increases, but that's fine. I'll show you how to do that. Today I've got my favourite colour, turquoise, and for the Valentine's aspect of this pattern I will be using hot red. So let's pop them aside. You're also going to need a crochet hook to go with your yarn. I will be using a 5mm or a size 8. This is also a H size crochet hook. In the pattern it recommends this size crochet hook, so that's what I'm going to use. We're going to need the written pattern. I have just printed it off. It's just easier for me to work with the pattern with it next to me. I do have it on my tablet as well, but sometimes it's you can't scribble or anything on your tablet, so it's easy for me to have printed off. I have taken out the images, but there are also great images in the free written pattern, which is located on myhobbyiscrochet.com. I just wanted to quickly print it off. You will also need to print off the chart. This is all included in the pattern when you print it off. But what I've also done, and this is just a personal thing, or you don't have to do this. What I've got, and it looks quite funny, but I've got one of those, is it manila folders? One of those manila folders, but it's been paper clipped so it's kind of sharp. Then I got some baking paper or parchment paper, put it over the top, and I've actually used this already, and I actually used a permanent marker, and I was crossing off the squares as I went for the practice. But would you believe baby wipes got most of the permanent texture off, so you can't really see it. So that's why you'll notice it's a little bit yucky. It's just where I've wiped it with a baby wipe. But what this does is it gives a see-through thing, so I can mark it on the parchment paper, but it doesn't actually go through to my chart, and I can use that chart again. So I've already used the chart once, but as you can see, there's no scribble on it. So I've just tacked it down with some paper clips. You could use something else. You don't even have to do this, you could find your own way. Kinga also recommends that you can print the chart off, then use a piece of paper or a post-it note and just pin it to the side. So let's pretend this is our piece of paper. You would pin it to the side like that, and then every time you do a row you would move it up and then move it up. And you don't have to mark a pattern at all, but I just wanted to mark it so I didn't lose where I was up to. So let's put that aside as well. We've got our free written pattern, and I've got my tablet just here. So let's bring up the pattern. Let's try and do it without too much reflection. Oh, you can see I'm wearing a green cardigan today. So we've got the pattern here, and like I said, it's got awesome pictures. So please go and print off your version of the pattern. You can also add it to your Ravelry queue and your favourites. It's got some great pictures and great information in there. And then we've got the instructions, the chart. Oh, look, there's me. And tips on how to change the colours of the yarn, which I will be showing you how to do, but there's also video tutorials that you can watch. So if you go to myhobbyiscrochet.com, I will put the link for this written pattern in the description box, and you can just go straight from there if you need to. And we've got other ways of hiding your yarn, and that's what the inside of the hat looks like, but I've actually found a little way to do it that we can even get rid of more of the strands of yarn that we have there. So that's awesome. And I have shared this idea with Kinga from My Hobby is Crochet, so we can add that to the pattern. Yep, more pictures. And if you want to print yours off, right down the bottom here it says print friendly. You click that button and then you can print off a copy of the pattern. So I will be using the blue, which is the turquoise, for the main colour of the hat, and the contrast colour, which is the love hearts, that's going to be my red. So what we want to do, round one, we can start with a chain 4 and join, or you can use a magic ring. So I'm going to use a magic ring. I just wrap the yarn around my fingers and then grab it like that. And it says you can work a standing double crochet and then do 9 double crochets into the ring and then join. I don't know how to do the standing double crochet, and I've practiced it and I still can't get it. So what I'm going to do is the alternative, chain 2, which is 1, 2 and 10 double crochet into the ring, and the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to continue around until we have 10 double crochet. So I have my 10 stitches, and remember the chain 2 at the beginning does not count as a stitch, and it doesn't count anywhere in the pattern when we do that. So we're going to join into the top of the first double crochet. This is our chain 2, that's our double crochet there. So we're going to go in the top of there and join with a slip stitch, and then pull on the back there, and we can sew that in later. We're going to chain 2 so it doesn't count as a stitch, and 2 front post double crochet around each stitch. Going into the double crochet, because that there is our chain 2. We don't want to work around that because it's not counted. So yarning over, going to the side of the double crochet from the front of your work to the back, come around the other side of the stitch with your crochet hook and complete a double crochet. We're going to do that again. I'm going to yarn over and go around the same stitch that we just did into the next stitch, or sorry, I should say around the next stitch. I'm going to go from the front to the back of the work, around the back of the stitch and out, and work a double crochet. If you don't know how to do a front post double crochet, there are plenty of tutorials here on YouTube. So we're going from the right to the left and completing the double crochet. And we want to do 2 of these around every stitch. So pause the video and I will meet you when we are ready to join. I'm coming around and I've got 1 front post in my last stitch there, and our last stitch of the round is worked around the chain 2 and the last stitch. So yarning over, going behind this stitch because we've already done 1 around this one, and then going behind the chain 2 as well, we're going to work our front post stitch. And what that does is makes that chain 2 disappear, and yeah, we can't see it anymore. So now we're ready to join. This is our chain 2. We're going to join into the top of the double crochet there. So going into the top. What's that? That's number, so now round 3, so it's chain 2 again, 2 front post double crochet around the next stitch. So not our chain 2, because you'll see now that has gone to the back of the work. So this is our first stitch here, so it's 2 around there. And 1 front post around the next stitch. So yarning over, go around the next one and work 1 front post, and we're going to repeat that around. So what we need to do is 2 into the next one. Sorry, it should be around the next one, and then 1 around the next. 2 front post around the next stitch, and then 1 around the next, and we're going to repeat this around, and then I'll show you what to do with the very last stitch when we get around here. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we're up to our last stitch. So I'm ready to do my last stitch, which is here, and that is 1 front post around it, which is this stitch here, but that's our chain 2 in there, so we're going to go around the back of the chain 2 and out the other side, and then capture that into that last stitch. Okay, so that was, so now we're ready to join. So join into the top of the first double crochet, which is there. That's a chain 2, ignore that one. Join into the top of there, and always make sure that slip stitch is tight. Sometimes when you make a hat, you might accidentally make a loose slip stitch and you'll find that your hat is gaining stitches and you cannot figure out where it is. And what you've done is you've made a loose slip stitch, and you might actually crochet into that. It happened to me a while back and I could not for the life of me figure out what I was doing wrong until I marked my beginning stitch and then realised that was a slip stitch. So now we're up to round 4, so it's chain 2, front post around the next stitch. So remember the chain 2's in there, so we're ignoring him, you know, because it's a boy and everything. We're going around this one, we're working 2 stitches. We're going to work 1 front post around the next 2, that's 1 around that one, and 1 around the next one. I'm going to work 2 front post around the next, 2 around the same stitch, and then 1 front post around the next 2 stitches. And we're going to repeat this around. Pause the video and I will catch up to you when we're up to our last stitch. When we come around to the last stitch, we also want to capture the chain 2 that's just, you can't really see it, it looks like one stitch. There we go. See the chain 2 there. So we're going around the next stitch as well as the chain 2, and we're getting that, helps if you're doing a double crochet. Sorry guys, yarn over, around the next stitch and the chain 2, and then work your double crochet. And then we are ready to join. So I won't show you that on every single round because now you've seen it a few times, you know exactly what you're doing. So now we are up to round 5. So round 5 is chain 2 and 2 front posts double crochet around the next stitch. Going around that one there, I'm going to work 2 front post and 1 front post around the next 3 stitches this time. And 2 around the next. One front post around the next 3 stitches. And each time we go up around, we will add 1 more in between our lots of 2. So we've got our 2 together, so I should say 2 in the same, around the same stitch, and then 1, 2, 3. So the next round would be 4, the next round would be 5. Now let's say that you want to make it a different size to what is stated in the pattern, or you've got different sized yarn that you want to use and it's not a worsted weight yarn. And I want to say a huge thank you to Erin for my super cute tape measure. So we have our tape measure, we also have our calculator here. Here's hoping the phone doesn't go flat. So we know the head measurement that we want to make our hat for. If you don't, we have sizing charts on Bob Wilson 123. The link for that is in the description box, and that will give you the size head that you need for the age group that you want. I'm going to base this on let's say a 58 centimetre head, because that's my size. So what we do is 58 centimetres divided by 3.14 equals 18, let's say 18.5 centimetres. And that will work for inches as well, so 18.5 centimetres, which is about there. We need to make the crown of this hat until it is approximately 18.5 centimetres across. Now you can see that that's nowhere near big enough to fit my head. So you get your head measurement, 58 centimetres. Let's go with 21 inches just so we can show you how it works with inches. 21 inches divided by 3.14. We're going to make it 6.6. So let's go 6.5 inches across. 6.5 inches, which would be there. And we can still tell that our hat's not big enough. Let's say you look at the crown and you think, oh, I wonder what size that would fit. We can do that as well. What you do is you measure your hat, and let's go with 4 inches. So it's 4 inches across, so we can do that. So it's 4 inches times it by, this time, 3.14 equals, now that is the head circumference that this hat is going to fit. So let's go with centimetres this time, 10 centimetres, because it's 10 centimetres across, times 3.14. So it's only going to fit a 31 centimetre, about a 31.5 centimetre head. Now, by my calculations, that's smaller than newborn, so that would probably be preemie size. So if you're going for preemie size, then that's how big you need to get your thing across there. but of course this isn't for premise size, so we can keep going. Now if you can't remember any of what I've just said about the sizing, that is also written down on your head sizing chart located on Bob Wilson, and the link for that is in the description box. Great little thing to print off and have handy. I use it all the time. So what we did there was 2 around and then 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do that again. 2 around this stitch and 1 front post around the next 3. And we are going to repeat this around, and I will meet you when we are ready to join. So pause the video and I'll see you in just a moment. Don't forget to keep capturing your chain 2 at the end of each round, and we're going to join with slip stitch to the top of the double crochet. So now we're up to round 6. I'm just going to mark that off on my pattern so I don't get lost. We're going to chain 2 and work 2 front posts around the next stitch. So it's the first double crochet front post of the round below. And then we're going to work a front post around the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoops. And 4. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So it's 2 around the next front post and 1 front post around the next 4. Repeat this around and I will meet you when we are ready for the next round. So pause the video and I'll see you in just a moment. So we are ready for the next round. Now I'm just going to measure this and see how big it is. So it's 14 centimeters. 14 centimeters. And again, this will work for inches as well. So that will fit a 43, so let's go 44 centimeter head. So that is about a 2-year-old, I think. So I'm going to start the next round. So let's chain 2 and 2 front post around the next stitch. And 1 front post around the next 5. So this is the last increase round of our pattern. And if you need to do more, each round will have 1 more stitch. So you know how this has got 5, your next round will have 6, your next round will have 7. So if you are using thinner yarn, you may need more increased rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 around this one. And then 1 around the next 5. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. And I will see when we are ready for the next round. And this is the last amount of increasing I will show you, because this is how the pattern is written. And I'm going to have such a cute hat when it's finished. Okay, so if you do need to do more rounds, by all means go ahead, and when you're ready we will be on to the next round of the pattern when you come back to the video. If you do need more rounds, it will be, this pattern works in a multiple of 10 stitches. So at the moment we have, on this round here when we've finished, we'll have 70 stitches. So that's in groups of 10. So if you're increasing again, just make sure that you're doing it properly and that you've got groups of 10 stitches, so that your next round, if you do an increase, will be 80 stitches, 90, 100 and so on, depending on what yarn you're using. Okay, so I'm going to finish up this round, and then when we're ready we'll be coming back to the next round, and after that round we start the chart. So that's the exciting part. See you in just a moment. So now we're up to round 8 and we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do a front post stitch around every single stitch. So just going around, and there's no more increases. So continue around, and I'll meet you for the next one. So pause the video and I'll see you in just a moment. So now we are up to round 9 and we are ready to start the chart. So I'm going to tell you that I've only ever done a chart once, and that was yesterday when I was practicing this pattern. So we will be learning together. You're going to have to excuse me if I'm a little nervous or don't really sort of know what I'm doing and getting it right every time, because I am still learning. You need to change colour in the last part of your stitch. I'll show you how to do that, so don't panic. You need to change colour in the last part of your stitch, so I may accidentally forget that and then have to pull out just that last part to get in the right place. So if I do that a few times, I apologise in advance, but once we get the hang of this pattern, it is so much fun. It's so easy to do. And I'm going to use this pattern, and I'm just going to tick off the boxes with a pencil, because if I use this one, I just realised that it's probably pretty noisy, and that's probably going to annoy you, especially if you're wearing headphones or earphones. So I'm just going to use this pattern. It's easier to get in front of the camera anyway. So what we need to do is we're only following the part that has the heart in it. So this blue row that's down here, we're not going to follow that one, and we're not going to follow the one that is up the top here either. I'm going to be messaging Kinga because it threw me off and it threw my stitch count out, so maybe if we do change it, just this top line and that bottom line there is just all blue. It may not be on the final version of the pattern, but I've already printed mine off before I've spoken to her, so just a little bit of a heads up there just in case it changes slightly. But we will only be using, we'll be starting here, we'll be starting over here on our pattern, because it says here rounds 9 to 16 will be worked the same as round 8, but with colour changes to form hearts with 70 stitches. If you've got a different amount of rounds, then you might have a different amount of stitches. Use the heart chart below. Each little square represents one stitch. Start reading the chart from the top to the bottom, from right to left. So from the top down, from right to left, because if we're right-handed, we crochet in that direction. If you're left-handed, you're going to start over here and go that way. So, and it says please read the tips before starting, and I'm going to show you how to do them anyway, so I won't need to read them to you. So the heart pattern is a multiple of 10. This hat has 7 hearts around, and if you make your crown bigger, smaller or bigger, you'll have less hearts in the round. So then it just tells you about changing colours and all that things. There's also a video tutorial. If you go to, like I said, the website My Hobby is Crochet, there's a link for a video tutorial that shows you how to do the stranding, and that actually helped me to understand what was going on. So what we need to do is we grab our chart. I'm going to leave this in the background. And looking at our chart, starting from the second line going from right to left, it's got 2 blue stitches because each little box is 1 stitch. So we know we need to do 2 stitches first, and then it changes to the other colour, which in my case is a red. So let's grab this. So we just need to join that round. and I need to do 2 stitches. So I'm going to chain 2 and do my front post. So that's number 1, and then I'm going to do my second stitch. But before I pull through 2 loops, this is where I need to change colour. So I'm just going to grab my red. So this is your contrast colour, or could be abbreviated as CC. You're just going to grab your yarn and we're going to put it over the crochet hook and pull through. Now tension is important when we're doing this. We want to make sure that we don't let it go all loose, because it'll look messy. So we're now going to be working with our contrast colour. So we're going to pick that up. So our blue one's still attached, we haven't cut that off. But what I was doing, and I found that it kept it secure, I was getting the colour we've dropped and picking up the red one, and the one that we're dropping just goes over the top, and then just put it down at the back. So now we want to work 2 of our contrast colour, because there's one there, one there. So we go 1 and 2, and just make sure that that's not too loose up here. So you can just pull on the yarn very slightly. Okay, so this is when we needed to change colour. So I should have done that in the last 2 stitches. I told you I'd do it. So now we're dropping our red, and if we look at our pattern, we've done our 2 contrast stitches, so we can mark those off. And now we need to do 3, so 1, 2, 3 of the main colour. So we need to pick up our main colour, if it's got to. Pick up your main colour, and your red yarn is going to the back. Going to pull through and need to work 3 stitches. Oop. Need to do 3 stitches, nearly did it. 3 stitches, and we're changing colour in the last one. So we've done 1, 2, 3. And now we're changing back to the 2 contrast colours. So again, picking up our red, where is it gone? And when we pick it up now, we don't want to pull tight on the red or your contrast colour, because it's going to make it, I can't think of the word, it's going to make it all crunched up like that, and we don't want that. We want it to lay flat. So when you're bringing it across, you're just laying it over the back there. You're not pulling that really tight, you're just laying it at the back. So I need to pick up my red, so my blue one is going to the back. Your wool will twist around, but you can easily undo that. So we're going to pull through. So I need to do 2 of our contrast colour. So we've done those. And now we need to do 3 with our main colour. So again, pulling that across at the back. And getting rid of that one over the top, picking that up, and then doing 3 stitches. We want to pick up our contrast colour. We're going to pick it up from underneath because the blue one needs to go over the top. And we're going to done those 3. So now we need to do 2 pink, which in my case is a red. And then we're going to change back to the blue. And we're just going to repeat this all the way around. So now we're back to, done the 2 pink, we're back to the 3 blue. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you don't have to mark off every single stitch as you go. I'm just doing that just for the video. So I'm changing to my red, so I want to put the blue on the top, grab the red, pull through, and we need to do 2. Changing back to the blue, so the red goes over the top and then pick up the blue. So we've done those 2. We need to do 3 blue, or 3 of your main colour. Whoops, did it again. And then we're changing back to the red, so the blue goes over the top, grab hold of the red and pull through. And the whole time I'm not yanking that yarn across, I'm just laying it loosely at the back. So we need to unwind this. I'm just going to flip that around. So I've done 3 blue, so I can get rid of those ones. So I'm dropping that one, picking up the red. So we're doing 2. And we're basically just going to repeat this all the way around. And if you're wondering what your repeat is, if you look here, these 10 stitches, so from here across to there, because that's where our 10 stitches are, that's our repeat. So from this block here, the first one to that one there is our repeat, and we're working across the row, and we're going to go that way, and I'm going to repeat this all the way around. So I will leave you to do that, and if you get stuck, just keep following the pattern, or you can look back and say, well, we can see a pattern forming there because we've got 3 main colour, which is blue, and then 2 contrast colour, which is red, 3 blue, 2 red, 3 blue, 2 red. So we can see that that's repeating all the way around. So I will meet up with you until we, and then when we get back to the next round, I'll show you what to do on the next round. So our last stitch of the round is a main colour, so it's the blue, because we've done our two red there. And just look back and make sure you've done it right, because yeah, I just looked back just before off camera, and apparently there was 3 here in the red and not 2. So you will need to make sure that's right, because when you come around to the next round you will find out that your pattern doesn't fit in properly. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to join into the top of the first double crochet like we've normally been doing. So I'm just going to mark off that row, just so I know that I've done every stitch. So now our next one, and every time we start with 1 blue stitch, so we can do that. So chain 2 and front post around there. So this time, I haven't finished that stitch off because this time we start with 1 blue stitch instead of 2. And now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 in the contrast colour. So drop that, pick up the contrast. So we'll go around the next one. 1, 2, 3, and 4, because we needed 4 in our contrast colour. I will eventually get that to change colour in the last part. Let's go back to here. Oops. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 done. We want to go back to 1 main colour and then 1, 2, 3, 4 contrast. I think we can do that. So where's my blue gone? So we need to touch that. What did I say we needed? 1 contrast, so 1 of those. Switch to your, 1 main colour. Switch to your contrast colour. And we need 4 of those. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to repeat that around. Our next part is, of course we needed to change colour there, didn't we? Our next part is our, so when I'm picking up the colour from whatever colour it is, I'm not pulling tight, it's just getting laid across the back there. See how there's no tension? I'm just holding it there to pull over. So it's 1 contrast, 1 main colour, and then 4 contrast. And then swap over and do 1 of your main colour. So we're going to swap that. And we're going to repeat that around, doing, we've got our 1 main there, so we've got 1 main, 4 contrast, 1 main, 4 contrast. And we're doing that all the way around. And on the next round, I will show you how to hide these strands here. Now I didn't show you on that row because it doesn't stand out very much, but as we go along the strands will get wider, so on the next round I'm going to show you how to hide these, and it's quite easy. So yeah, so pause the video now and continue around with that one, and I'll meet you when we're ready to do the next one. On this round, so we're on the second of our heart, so I've gone all the way across. You'll notice that our last stitch is our contrast colour. So when that comes to our hat, the last stitch of the round is our contrast colour, and we're going to join to the top of the first, oops, oh no, I did do it, it's okay, I'm confusing myself, don't worry. We're going to join to the top of the double crochet, but when we do our join, we want to join in our main colour. So pick your blue back up. And do your slip stitch with your main colour. So we're going to do 2 chain, and we're on to our next row of the chart. So our first one is always our main colour, so that's easy peasy. And then we're going to change colour to our contrast colour, which for me is red. And we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 contrast colour stitches. So now I'm going to show you how to capture the threads at the back. Stay there, pencil. So we want to swap to our main colour, so put the blue at the back, get rid of him. Pick up our contrast colour. So we're going to be working the front as normal. Yep, we can do that. So we're going to work our front post, but when we go through to do our front post, you'll see at the back, where is it? So at the back we've got our blue thread that comes across. You'll see at the back that there's a blue thread which is just here, which is this loose thread at the back. So we're going to go through, but we want to go, this is going to be really hard to show you on video, we're going to go over the top of the blue thread to see how our crochet hook is over the top of the blue thread. And when we come back through the other side, we're going to go underneath the blue thread and come out. That sounds like a lot more work than what it actually is. So blue thread is there, we're going to go over the top of it because it's underneath our crochet hook, so go over the top, come back this side, and you'll see, this was so much easier yesterday when I was doing it. Alright, there's our thread. We want to come underneath with our crochet hook. So can you see it there? Coming underneath it. And then we're going to work our stitch as normal. But just be careful when you pull through, you don't actually pull through the blue instead of the red. And what happens, it just pops back to the back, you won't see it. So again, we're going through. We need to make sure we can see the blue thread. It's a little bit harder because the thread is only really short. But see how you can see the blue thread? You're going to go over the top. Going over the top of the thread. And then here, so what I'm doing, I'm like scooping with my crochet hook. That's really hard to see on video. And then coming down, and see how now the blue thread at the back is at the top of my crochet hook, not underneath. So I've captured that, and then, so see how the blue's trying to come through? Make sure you're only bringing the red. And it looks really hard, but once you've done it a few times, it's actually really easy. See how I just grabbed that really easily like that? It's just a matter of practice, and I did my project like this yesterday because I didn't like how the threads were showing. That's not any fault to the pattern, let me tell you. It's just me. I didn't like them. Maybe I'm a bit obsessive when it comes to things like that. So again, go around. So you see how our blue strand now is getting really short? It's probably going to be a little bit harder to do. So it's just one motion. Once you get it over the top of the thread, if you aim to the bottom of the stitch, you'll guarantee that your blue one's underneath, on the top. Okay, so now I need to pay attention to what I'm doing here. It was about 9 stitches or so, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, it was 9 stitches, so I'm right. So again, and now it's probably disappeared because it was only just from here to here, that thread. So we don't need to worry about that one, because it will be a lot harder to get into. It's just when you notice, and you'll notice it when you go around a stitch. See how you can see it there now? See how the thread's there now? You're going to go over the top, scoop, and around, and now you're underneath. What it actually does is it gets stuck. Did I do that one correct? Yeah, it gets stuck. See how it's disappeared just here? It gets stuck in there. But the closer you get to a colour change from the previous row, the previous round here, the harder it's to get. So I don't really sort of get it near where there's a colour change. I just get it where it's a bit further out from a colour change. So it was 9 stitches. Whoa, I've gone way too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoop, 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 whoop. Get rid of them 2. And we need to change colour, so let's pull that last loop out. That'll teach me for talking way too much again. So we've done our 9 stitches across. Where's my pencil? So we can mark those off. I'm just going to do that one too, because we've already done that one, so I don't get confused. So we've done our 9 stitches, and we want to do this one right here. So we need to change to our contrast main colour, sorry. Put it at the back and change. But now, because we've done all those red stitches, we've got this huge blue loop at the back. Now if you pull, this is where I can show you if you pull too tight. If you pull that tight, it's going to make your hat just curve in, and you don't want to do that. You want it to lay flat. So when you're changing colour, I'm just showing you this because if you haven't done it before, there's all these little tricks and tips that you need to know. You're just laying it across. We're just laying it, literally laying it on the top. And I haven't got any tension there, just enough tension so I can pull it through this stitch. And then it'll lay across. Because if you don't have that a little bit loose, when you go to wear the hat, it's going to be so tight you won't be able to get it on. And it won't have any give at all in it. So we want to work a front post. We want to do 1. And then we're going to repeat that across. So it's changing the colour there, sorry Felly. Boys and girls, changing the colour. So it's 1 of the main, and then 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of your contrast colour. And again, we can capture that little sucker at the back. So you can actually, I don't know how you crochet, but I can feel that when I hold it. I can feel that blue strand there. Where is it? There it is. See how it's popping there? That will go. That will disappear. Don't panic. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. And I'll meet you when we're ready to do the next round. Now apart from the colour changing and getting used to that, this is actually a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. And you'll see this long blue strand, we'll actually fix it up when we come around to the next part. So don't worry about that one. That will disappear. But you can see our strands have disappeared here. You will get some showing, like you'll get a little bit like that, but you won't get these big loops if you do that little method that I showed you how to do. You can leave it like that if that doesn't worry you at all, that's completely fine. You know, you don't have to use that method I showed you. So continue around and I will be waiting for you when we are ready to do the next round. When we are ready to join, we want to join in the main colour. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of the double crochet, drop our contrast, pick up our main, and we don't want to make this too tight, so I'll just loosen that off a bit, just laying it across, and then do our slip stitch. And the next round is a repeat of the one we just did before, so this is easy. We can look down, so we know we need to do a blue or a main colour, so chain 2 and then front post. We want to change colour because we've got the contrast colour there. and then we're just repeating what we've got here. So we're going to go contrast all the way where there's a contrast, and then main colour when it's a main colour. So repeat that, and I will see when we're ready to join. When we are ready to join, we want to join with the new colour, so we're going to go into the top of the first stitch, grab our blue, where's it gone, here we go, and then pull through. Just making sure that's not too tight at the back there. Rightio, we're on to the next one. So this is, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we're on the 5th one of the love heart. And this time we start with 2 of the blue, and then we change for our rest of our love hearts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches there. So 2 blue and then 7. So we want to do chain 2 and then work our blue. So we want 2 of these. So grab your red. And then I'm just making sure, just double checking, it's 7 red. Oops. I'll make sure that blue one doesn't come through too much. And it does disappear back around when we get our work going. And to make your work faster, if you really wanted to, you only have to do that every couple of stitches. It's just to catch it at the back. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to change colour in that last part of that stitch. Pick up our new colour, put this one to the back. Again, just making sure that's not too tight. So I'm just going to mark those off so you can see where I've been. We've done our 7 contrast, and now we need to do 3 main colours. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And again, I'll have to change colour, so I should have just left those 2 leaps on there, shouldn't I? And now we're just going to repeat that across. So I've just done, I'm going to mark that again. We've just done our 3, so now we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. So see how that just repeats across? And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So pause the video and I will get back to you when we are ready to join. I'm up to the end of the round, but if you look at our pattern here, there is a last blue square that we need to do. So our very last stitch is actually our main colour. So grabbing your main colour, join that in. And this last stitch here, we're making sure you're grabbing your chain 2, is our main colour, and then we can join into the top of the first double crochet. There we go. I don't know about you, but I'm actually having fun with this pattern. I mean, I enjoy all my videos, but I've never done this before, so it's really exciting. So now we're up to the next one. And this time we've got 1, 2, 3 main colour, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the contrast. So let's go. We need to do 3 of the main, so it's 1, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Whoops. So it's 3, and we need to change colour. So grabbing our main, grabbing our contrast colour. And we want to do 5 of the contrast colour. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to change colour. Sorry, I really do apologise if I don't leave those 2 loops on, but I'm sure by now you know what you're doing, so you've probably already done it the right way. So join in there. So put that to the back. And then, okay, so we need to do a little bit different here because we've got more squares. I'll just mark off there so we know what we've done. Mark those ones off. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main colour, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's easy. So we've got 5 main colour and then 5 contrast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main and 5 contrast. So we can do that. So around the next stitch. So we need to do 5 main colour. So that's 2, 3. Just grabbing some yarn. Can you hear those sparrows? Geez, they're noisy today. 3, 4, and 5. Oh, so we need to change colour. Put the blue to the back, pick up the red, making sure it's not tight. And then we do 5 contrast colours. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to repeat this all the way around. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we're just ready to join, and we do it slightly different when we get to the end, and you'll probably already know what you're doing, but where are we? Where do we start? Here. So see how we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue, and then here we've only got 1, 2, 3. So the last 2 stitches at the end here of our round are going to be of the main colour. So pause the video and I'll catch up when we are here, and if you know what to do, go ahead and join, but if not, I'll show you what to do. The last 2 stitches of this round are our main colour, so I've already changed to my main colour. And we want to do the last 2 stitches with that. Then we're going to join as normal. And the next, we've got 2 more rounds of the heart. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 contrast. So chain 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Change colour. And what was it, 3 of the red. 1, 2 and 3. Oops, so yeah, we're changing colour now, so I want to change that back to the blue. And now we just mark off our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue. Or 7 of your main colour. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. I'm going to change back to that one. And then, excuse me, so mark off our 7 stitches. And then we've got 1, 2, 3. So, and that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. So it's 3 contrast. Oops. Make sure we're using our contrast. One, 2 and 3. Pick up your main. And 7 of the main colour. Oops. Helps if you don't skip a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then swap back to your contrast colour and do your 3 and repeat that around. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we are ready for the next one. The last 3 stitches on this round, let's get rid of them ones. The last 3 on this round are our main colour. So I've changed to my main colour already. And the last 3 stitches are using that one. Make sure you grab your chain 2 as well. Oh, grabbing my yarn. And we're just going to join to the top of the first double crochet there with the slip stitch. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our main and then 1 contrast. So let's get with that one. So chain 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. and then change colour. And then we're doing just one, because this is the bottom of our love heart. Just one, so we want to change back to the blue. And then, so we can mark off what we've done so far. Then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then one contrast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one contrast. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Change to the red. And then one of our contrast colour. And then 9 again with our main colour. So pause the video, repeat this around, and I'll meet you when we are ready to join over here. So I'm coming around, and this is where I join, and the last 4 stitches, let me just mark off there so you know where I've done. The last, oh, we've done those, mark them off too. Last 4 stitches are our main colour. So what we need to do, I've already changed to my main colour. We're going to work our last 4 stitches in that. So that's 3. And last one, catching your chain 2 as well, and I'm going to join. And how awesome does that look? Oh, I am so excited about this pattern. Oops. That looks so cool. I can't believe that I have just made a love heart in crochet and it's attached to the hat. It's like part of the hat. There is a first for everything, people. I've never done this before and I'm a huge fan, must I say. So after we finish our chart, let's grab out. So we finished our chart because we've just done the last stitches there, and this row here is not part of the chart, so you have to pay attention to that. So it's time to turn page, no, next page. So we just finished round 16 after we've done that chart. So now we're up to round 17. And the bits up here is just telling you about how to change colour and then stranding and stuff. That's just some information I had there. That's also on myhobbyiscrochet.com. So round 17 to 18, we're just going to use the same as round 8, using main colour. If I remember correctly, round 8 was just front post double crochet. So round 8, front post double crochet around each. So when we're using our main colour now, and this will just tidy off just the little edge there we've got where the red is. So chain 2, whoops. And then work front post stitches all the way around. So pause the video and I'll meet up with you when we are ready to join. Not sure if I mentioned it on the last round, but round 18 is also the same as round 8. So we've already done round 17 and we're also going to do round 18 the same, using a front post double crochet in every stitch around using your main colour. So this one's easy to join. We just join to the top of the first double crochet like we have been. Now we're up to the next part of the pattern, which is called the dots pattern, and this is made by using a variation of the stitch using the gum drops ear flat hat. Ugh, that's a mouthful. Gum drops ear flat hat. And I also have a video tutorial on that, and there's also a free written pattern and step-by-step picture tutorial on My Hobby is Crochet. I will put the link that you need in the description box. But when we did the gumdrops hat, if you've already made that, you would remember we used the treble crochet, the front post treble crochet, but in this one we're going to use a front post double crochet instead. So round 19, continue with main colour. We want to chain 3, and it says this will not count as a stitch here and in the next round. So a chain 3 doesn't count as a stitch, but we need that just to get going. Skip the next stitch and 1 front post double crochet around the next. So skip this one, front post double crochet around this one. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and then repeat. So front post around the next one. So skip this one, front post around that one, chain 1, skip 1, front post around the next one, chain 1, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. And what it does is leaves this sort of look to it. And then we do something different on the next round, and we'll be using these unworked stitches. So repeat this all the way around, and I will meet up with you. So pause the video and we'll show you what to do, how to join there in the next video clip. So we are up to the end of round 19, and we join. Where do we join? We join to the top of the first double crochet. So we've done our front post chain 1, and then we're joining into the top of the front post double crochet. And this chain 3 here doesn't count as a stitch, and I know it looks weird here, but don't worry, it's going to disappear. So as a continue, so number 19, round 20, it says with contrast colour, chain 3, skip next front post of the previous round. Okay, so I know how to do that. So we need to find our contrast colour, and I haven't actually cut mine off yet, it's still attached. That's probably a bit too much to carry, so we'll cut that off. And that bit will get sewn in. So joining in this colour again. Do we go back to our main colour? We do, so I'm going to just pull that out and leave that there. Going to join in that one. So I'm just joining that into, where's the red? There we go. So we've contrast colour, chain 3, so 1, 2 and 3. Skip next front post double crochet, work 1 front post double crochet around the unworked of 2 rounds below. So yarning over, and see how we've got these unworked stitches here in between these ones, just there. That's what we're going to be working around. chain 3, finding the next unworked stitch, so it's here. So we've done this one, we're going to skip that one and go into that one. So it's basically just what we did before. It's chain 1, skip 1, except it's just 2 rounds below instead of 1 round below. So we've done our chain 1, and we've done this one, done that one. We're going to skip this one, go around this one, chain 1, skip this one, go around that one, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. Chain 1, skip 1, and around the next. See, and that blocks in how there was that gap before. That blocks in that one. So repeat around, pause the video, and I'll meet you when we're up to joining. When we're ready to join, we're going to join to the first double crochet, or should be first front post double crochet. And we are finished with our contrast colour now, so we can actually cut this off. Let's find my scissors. And then just put that through there. And with our main colour, we're going to repeat the last round that we just did. So picking up your main colour. I'm just going to get this red out of the way. So what we can do now is put our stitch through there, put that blue on there, pull through, and then just work what we did for the last round. So that's chain 3, front post around the 2 rounds below, so into our main colour here, chain 1, into the next main colour. So skip the red one, go into the blue, chain 1, so we're just going into our main colours and we're not going into the red. So there we go, just doing that. And we want to do this for 2 rounds. So we want to do this round and then do one more after that. So as we come around, make sure you've done all your main colour front post stitches, and then we're going to join to the top of the first double crochet, front post double crochet. Now round 23 is our last round, and it says with main colour chain 2, skip next front post double crochet, and work 1 front post half double crochet around unworked 2 rounds below. So this is 2 rounds below, not our blue, not our main colour that we just did, the contrast colour. Half double crochet, so we're going to yarn over, go around the stitch as normal, pull through, and now we're just going to yarn over and pull through those 3 stitches. Chain 1, skip the next one, and then around, we're just working around our contrast colour for a half double crochet, or front post half double crochet. Chain 1, next contrast colour, work your half double crochet, chain 1, grab your next contrast colour and work that one, chain 1. And we're going to work this all the way around, so pause the video and I'll meet you when we're ready to join. When we're ready to join, we're going to join into the first front post half double crochet, which is here. So you want to make sure that you've done that red one and that red one. Well, that red one is where your first stitch is, so you've already done that one. And pull that tight. And that is the end of our pattern. So we just need to cut off our yarn. And then we are just going to sew in our ends. As soon as I can find my needle. So I'll just show you on one of the ends, in case you're not sure how to do that. We just put it to the back of our work and then just find somewhere to weave it in. So I'm just going to weave it in and out of these stitches here. And then go back in the other direction, but you want to skip the first stitch there and then go back. If you go under that same stitch, it will come undone. And we can trim that off. And then you'll just have these ends to sew in. And probably the starting one as well. Yeah, you've got one at the start and just those two ends there. So the inside of the hat, let's just turn it. Now I admit I did forget to grab the yarn. Remember how we were hiding the yarn on some rounds? You can see there that I've completely forgotten. But I've tried to do it every couple of stitches, and yeah, forgot there as well. It's all good, doesn't matter. It is the inside of the hat, and what your aim was just to stop you being able to catch yourself on these strands. So I've forgotten some there as well, but it does not matter. It is the inside of the hat. I'll sew those off. Sew those in off camera. And that is the end of our hat. So I'll just hide those tails. And I don't know about you, but I love this hat. I think it's awesome. Please share them on our Facebook page. And also go and share them on myhobbyiscrochet.com's Facebook page. All the links that you need are in the description box below. Subscribe to these videos and my channel because we have 2 video tutorials each week. So you don't want to miss any in the future. Just by subscribing you will be notified when they are ready to watch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet!